Here is our host, Tian Wei.
Hello and welcome to World Insight. I'm Tian Wei in Beijing. We start with the coronavirus in Europe. China has donated tons of medical supplies to the country of Greece. Last weekend, a plane arrived in Athens carrying 550,000 medical and surgical masks, as well as protective gear. The airlift followed an urgent aid request from Greece, with hospitals running low on masks. It has become so dire that each health worker is only given 2 masks per shift. Supplies were collected and sent to Greece within 8 days, at a time when China is still under immense pressure to contain its own outbreak and its own medical supplies are overstretched. For more about the latest, I speak to Ambassador Zhang Qiyue, the Chinese ambassador to Greece. Let's listen in. Ambassador, when I was looking at the photo, I can tell that you were very much excited. So were your Greek colleagues, shall I say, at the airport. I mean, I'm sure at that moment, some of the efforts made by all sides came to your mind, you know, all of these difficulties, one after another, overcome. I guess this, in a way, it's a very interesting moment to be an ambassador, isn't it? A challenging moment.
Yes, in a way that it's a miracle. And I think many of the Greek ministers thought that we together did something. We actually succeeded in the mission impossible.
It only took 8 days from the initiative proposed by the Greek government when they were talking to you and to the final supply of all the materials inside Greece to the Ministry of Health. Tell me more about what really happened within those 8 days.
Because 8 days are really not very long. As far as the organization of the supplies, it takes a lot of work. It's really related to all the ministries and many businesses. So it's a big teamwork. So for the past 8 days, I think both in Beijing and in many places, and also here in Greece, we have worked around the clock to make sure that these supplies could come in time. And also because for this month, the 21st was the only direct flight from Beijing to Greece. So that made it more urgent, all the more urgent, to have the supplies to come to this flight.
What are these issues? Tell me more about them.
Well, first of all, these medical supplies are not in one place. You know, they have to be organized from various factories, different locations. And also because, you know, in Beijing, everybody is extremely busy under great pressure. And there are many, many requests for government assistance. So my colleagues and, you know, the ministries are doing a million things at the same time. So it's not easy to have this consignment put together within such a short period of time. And then another issue is for transportation. You know, you have to bring all these supplies to the airport. That's one thing. And also, there's really not enough cargo space in the plane. So we have to find ways to make sure that things will get onto the plane. And we have handed over all of them to the Greek government, and they will distribute these much-needed supplies to the hospitals.
However, some wonder whether China is trying to do masks diplomacy here.
We are not thinking about playing some kind of diplomacy. What we are trying to do is actually to save lives. I think this is the most important thing, not to put up a show or to have an extra influence on, as some of the media has suspected. I think we are here to really help all the countries that we can to prevent the spread of the disease, to contain this epidemic, and also to save lives. I think that is the most important thing now.
But Madam Ambassador, still people, some of them are skeptical, saying, well, Greece is one of those important countries on China's overall plan for Belt and Road Initiative, and that is why China is so much interacting with the country of Greece, even at this moment, to win some good hearts and minds from the country of Greece. Do you think that is the case?
No, I don't think that is a correct reading of the Chinese action. I think that is actually a misrepresentation of what we are doing and what the Chinese policy is all about. China is a country that has over 5,000 years of ancient civilization, and we have very strong philosophies embedded into the society. And we truly believe in friendship, in assisting and helping your countries, your neighbors, your friendly countries, and peoples around you. I think that is already embedded into our culture. I think as great friends, we have to help each other, especially in time of need. We do this for Greek people, for the Italian people, for the Spanish people, but I think they would do the same to us. I remember that at the special moments when China had to encounter some difficulties, the Greek people helped us in a selfless way. For example, in 2011, when the Chinese government decided to repatriate some workers from Libya, the Greek people went out of their ways to help us. They, sent ships to Libya to bring our workers back, and also they allowed our workers to come to the island of Crete without, visas or this kind of authorization, but they were given a special, approval for allowing these workers to go to Crete. And so nobody questioned the sincerity of the Greek country, the Greek government. I don't think anybody would say the Greek had other motivations. But today, when China does something, people would suspect that China has other motivations or other ulterior motives. So I think that is actually a misunderstanding of our government policy, a misunderstanding of the Chinese people. China is faced with big challenges at home, domestically, and we are helping Greece and other countries at the time of medical supply shortage. So that's why it is really not very easy to mobilize all the resources to assist others. But we are fully committed to this because we believe, as I said before, we really believe in solidarity.
Ambassador Zhang Qiyue, Chinese ambassador to Greece. The debate of containment of coronavirus has been heated up by worsening situations around the world. Facing the global pandemic, many calls for international cooperation. So pointing fingers at each other or trying to help to save lives? I asked that question to Ambassador Zhang Qiyue, who also served years in the Chinese Foreign Ministry as the spokesperson. But Ambassador Zhang, may I ask you, there has been a debate about the source of virus for COVID-19. Now, that debate is not just within the scientific circle, it's becoming ever more geopolitical. As someone who served as a spokesperson of Chinese Foreign Ministry for years, what do you make of the current debate?
I know that there have been discussions on this issue. I think the most important thing is that we focus on our work to combat this pandemic. And this is very urgent and it's very serious. I think we all really have to pull our efforts together. Up to now, we have cooperated very well with the Greek side, And they are learning from our experience, and we are sharing with them all the things that we have learned over the past 2 months.
But Madam Ambassador, some would wonder, really, is China just about quote-unquote sharing, or is China trying to show to the others, well, this is our model, use our model, you will be fine?
No. We never wanted to give our model to other countries. We only share what we have done and the experience that we have learned over the past 2 months. And I think each country, the situation is different. So they have to take their measures, they have to take their policies according to their own situation. But it's very important to know the situation, to know the effective cases that happened before, or the cases that are not so successful up till now. So I think the learning part is very important. So we learn about the experience, but also we draw lessons from others as well.
What is likely to be your job, from today on? Because the situation in Greece is very challenging. How would you, as the ambassador from China, to protect the Chinese overseas there in Greece, while at the same time be able to assist the Greek government to provide what China can offer? And also protect your embassy people. You have a team there.
On the one hand, we are communicating with the Greek government and the health authorities almost every hour. This morning I received 2 calls from Minister of Health. I also made 2 calls to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we have been in very close communication. As I said before, that we are sharing information, sharing the experience that we have. Also, we are helping the Greek government to purchase the necessary medical supplies. As you know, that I think for any country, there is still an acute need for medical supplies of one kind or another. So we are trying to help them as the situation develops further. And on the other hand, we have to, of course, make sure that the Chinese citizens, the compatriots here in Greece, the students, the business people here are also safe. So we are in close contact with every one of them, each one of them. Just to give you the example, that this afternoon I will organize a video conference with all the students that are here, so to send them again the message of caring, and also to ask them to take precautions. So we ask all the Chinese compatriots, the Chinese citizens here, to abide by the order and the rules that has been issued by the Greek government. They have already declared a state of emergency about 10 days ago, but since 2 days ago, they are going to really enforce this lockdown. So they have issued a number of measures. So we ask all the Chinese people here to abide by the rules. And also we have given them a lot of material for reading. For example, the handbook of prevention and control. And we have, from our embassy, we have a WeChat public account that we update information every day. To send them messages, so that they understand what is the situation, what are the Chinese government actions to assist them. For example, our government has set up a medical platform for consultation.
That's right.
That could be used, for all the Chinese around the world, or even our foreign friends as well. So if I remember correctly, that about 2,000 doctors are available 24 hours a day to answer all the questions from people everywhere. If they have a medical issue, or if they have some kind of a mild symptoms that they wanted to know how to treat them. So this kind of information is very important for the people that are living outside of China.
Right.
And we tell them that, if they have problems, we will try our very best. For example, we have discussed with the Greek government to designate hospitals for people in case that they are sick. And also we have provided some masks to our students here. And if they need anything else, we will also try our very best to supply them with these supplies and goods. And so we will do everything we can to help our students, our business people here. And so I think that is our focus and is our job. And we will do our very best to do that. Of course, we all have to take precautions ourselves. Our staff are also abiding the rules, so to make sure that we will not, get sick first. So we are trying to restrict, direct contact with people outside of the embassy. Right. But our work continues, and not only continues, but our work is even more intense today because there are just so many things to do.
So many things to do. Stay strong, Madam Ambassador.
Yes.
Looking forward to see you again in
Thank you.
Beijing when everything is settling down. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.